Welcome, Team Rhino. Happy Cinco de Rhino. We have a full day of events planned for you today, including talks, games, watch parties, and more. Today, we are raising essential emergency funding for the people and organizations that are protecting rhinos during this crisis. Funds will be used to support salaries, health and safety needs for the dedicated men and women who continue to ensure that rhinos and other endangered species will survive. You can give today at our website, rhinos.org, or on Facebook. We are kicking things off today by talking with Bibhab Talukdar, IRF's Asian Rhino Program Coordinator. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Could you get us started by telling us how is COVID-19 impacting India?
Well, so far, we have about 1,400 people died because of COVID-19. The cases are increasing slowly, but not in a very steep height. Fortunately, the province where I am from, the province of Assam, where we have close to 75% of the wild greater one-horned rhinos, we don't have that many cases. I think only 35 to 40, suspects has been hospitalized, and one unfortunately killed. So situation, in Assam within India is not as bad as compared to the other part of Western India. But of course, like it is a global pandemic, India is also facing. So, we are taking utmost care so that, this COVID-19 spread of COVID-19 can be stopped.
And are the rhino patrols still in effect in Assam?
Yes, fortunately, although the lockdown was announced on 24th of March, but the wildlife forestry sectors are treated as emergency services. That's why there is no compromise with regards to protection. Patrol, they are doing the same kind of patrol before the lockdown announced. That means 24/7 patrolling is still going on. And that ensures that our wildlife are protected, our rhinos are protected.
Great. Is there a risk of increased poaching activities at this time?
Well, there were at least 2 attempts being made during the lockdown period. But because of the alertness of the local people, the forest staff, the police, before they could kill the rhino, in fact, the local villagers rounded the suspects with arms and ammunition. So that reverberates, that rhino is the pride of Assam, pride of the people living here, and people owes responsibility. And in the crisis like this, COVID pandemic all over the world are alert, which is a very good sign. Along with the communities, the forest and police are also doing their duties. So at least 2 poaching attempts to kill rhinos in Assam in last 40 days has been checked.
That's excellent news, and it's great to hear that the patrols are still vigilant, but also the residents take so much pride and they're as vigilant in reporting suspicious activity as well. It's wonderful to hear. And that kind of leads us to our next topic. Over the last 2 years, there's been a significant decrease in poaching in Assam. What are some of the activities that have led to that success?
Well, I think, the patrolling intensified by the Forest Department, the Wildlife Week within the national park and also in the peripheries. But I think, the police, the Assam police are also giving good backup support, especially, doing surveillance in the civil areas, because the arms generally comes into the national park from the civil areas, because the hunters, the criminals generally hide, their arms and ammunition in the civil areas. So, along with the dedicated work being done by the wildlife staff, police are also playing an important role. There are a lot of detection of, wildlife seizures. This is again, not just police and forest officials. We have some other, allied law enforcement agencies like the revenue intelligence. The revenue intelligence in Northeast India were very active in last 2 years. They have detected, at least 5, 6 cases of wildlife products, including tiger skins, bear bile. So I think because all the agencies are working, in tandem, and people are also aware, that we need to protect rhinos. So that is because of the combined effort, this rhino poaching has been declined. From International Rhino Foundations, we have carried out a series of 3-day workshops for the frontline forest staff working in the wildlife areas, basically targeting the rhino areas like Kaziranga, Pobitra Wildlife Sanctuary, Orang National Park. So, our colleague, Mr. Rahul Datta, who is looking at the wildlife crime monitoring at the International Rhino Foundations, he does, the 3-day training program for 12 frontline forest staff, because this is, a process of building capacities. So we are concentrating to few people rather than making it a very wide kind of people attending. So 12 people attends 3 days. It's almost like, 16 hours of training. So that also helped, a little bit of vigilance, post-scene, investigations, and also framing the cases, because arrest is the preliminary stage. The ultimate goal is to convict the people. And that is where the International Rhino Foundation is focusing through its project in Assam.
Thank you. Earlier this year, there was a successful translocation of 2 rhinos to Manas National Park. Could you tell us more about this project?
Yeah, this is the 020, which was launched in 2005. International Rhino Foundation, along with WWF, also being supported by US Fish and Wildlife Service, the Assam government, the Bodoland territorial government. This is a combined effort of these agencies supported by local NGOs and institutions. The main overall goal is to increase the population up to 3,000 by year 2020. Remember, the IRB 2020 was launched in 2005, and we emphasized during that time that our populations need to be around 3,000 by the end 2020. We are very close to 3,000. I think in 2018, when the estimation started, we have about 2,650. Last 2 years, we didn't do any estimations. So to my calculation, it should come to at least 28 to 2,900, if not 3,000. So we are very close. With regards to spreading out of population within Assam in the earlier rhino bearing areas, we had a target to capture and translocate 20 rhinos. With the last 2 rhinos we translocated, we are done with that target. Unfortunately, despite many challenges, we captured 20 rhinos from Pobitra and the Kaziranga Wildlife Sanctuary, put into the Manas National Park. There were some rescued rhinos also brought to Manas National Park. Current population of Manas National Park is 40. So slowly it is building its own population. And over last 10 years, we got close to 20 cubs in Manas National Park. So one thing is very sure, Manas has good habitat, animals are happy, they are breeding, they are trying to take their populations, increasing. The only challenge are poaching. I feel rhinos are safe probably nowhere in the world, whether it is in national park or wildlife sanctuaries, or it's found in the museums or other protected areas. So protection has to be there. Fortunately, our governments are taking protection as a priority. That is why we have seen some success in last few years in declining the rate of rhino poaching in Assam.
That's excellent news. Can you tell us just a little bit more of what to expect out of IRV 2020 in the future?
Well, I think with regards to the IRB 2020, we are yet to, take rhinos to places like Laukwa and Burachapuri, which is about 110 square kilometer, very good grassland patches. We need to do a little bit of good grassland, management there. And within that 110 square kilometer, I'm sure we can put another 100 rhinos, provided we can enhance the security. So that's the priority of the whole IRB team in Assam. We are working. In fact, we wanted to translocate 2 more rhinos to Manas National Park in middle of March. Unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic spread and then everything is locked. But, the things is locked for temporary. Our aims, our goal to put rhinos back in earlier areas remains strong. As soon as situation improves, which is safe, to ensure the safety of the people engaged with the translocations, our government is going to start this process very soon. So our next target would be to put 2 more rhinos to Manas National Park, focusing on Laukhwa and Burhachapuri Wildlife Sanctuary.
Excellent. Thank you for that update. What gives you hope for the future of greater one-horned rhinos?
Well, I think the greatest hope is the ownership. The people also feels that rhino is the pride of Assam. Government, of course, because this is our provincials, we call it state animal of Assam. So, government has the responsibility for sure. But what is good along with the government agencies, people are very passionate. They are very proud to say that we are from a place from where 75% of greater one-horned rhinos are there in the wild. So that pride factor is very much there. So that helps, in strengthening the second line of defense. The first line of defense, I would say, like the forest guards. The second line of defense are basically the communities. So since communities, most of the communities, majority of the communities are supportive to the rhino protections. So our second line of defense are also working well. Then like other agencies, police and other enforcement agencies are also taking this as a priorities. So, because of these 3 layers, I would say, of protection, I see a good hope for rhinos in future. But we should also remember that the rhino poaching is not the only threat to the future. Rhino poaching is bad. It is visible. We see blood. We feel bad. But there are invisible threats like the spread of invasives or weeds, the plant species, that also destroys larger portion of the grassland habitats, because our greater one-horned rhino is grazers. They graze. So for them, maintaining the grassland habitat at optimum level is very important. Of late, we have seen in many areas in Kaziranga, Orang, Pobitora, or even in Manas, grasslands are invaded by weeds. So that is another threat that we need to look into. For poaching, I think our government has taken priorities, strengthened, the staff position in rhino-bearing areas. They have engaged the special task force of Assam police to assist or to check rhino poaching. But to fight against the invasive weed, I think we need some more good strategies, and we are trying to focus on that.
Excellent. That coordination and cooperation is definitely a model for other areas of the world. I want to thank you for joining me today to give us this update. And on behalf of Team Rhino, please extend our appreciation and thanks to all of the rangers and everyone else in India that is working hard to protect rhinos. To learn more about the greater one-horned rhino, please visit IRF's website at rhinos.org. Our next event is a live watch of an interview with Elise Sifontaine and Simon Naylor, and that'll come up at 10 a.m. Eastern on Facebook. But tune in all day as we celebrate Cinco de Rhino. There is still time for you to put together your own Cinco de Rhino virtual happy hour. The toolkit is on our website at rhinos.org. So gather some friends for a virtual party and raise some needed funds for rhino protection. You can make donations all day at rhinos.org or on Facebook. Thank you, and we'll see you in a few.